Mike's Daily Podcast.
1196 episode. Hello, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. Today we hear from Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the engineer. Plus we bring you two segments today. We bring you the MIKELOPEDIA INSANICA and also the Whiny White Man wine list for your perusal.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And yesterday I had the fortunateness to be of use.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
To my dog, cause I walked Basil the boxer around Podcastro Valley, Mont's Hills, where there's a bunch of cool things to see. A deer jumped out and Basil chased after it, and then I decided that I would quit and sit down. No, I kept going because I'm hitting a breakfast
Mike's Daily Podcast.
coma. Oh my gosh. Wow. My stream of thought has completely gotten side-washed.
Daily
I hope you enjoyed that song.
Podcast.
You know what I discovered too?
Yeah!
Is that I ran into a couple of guys that live around Podcastro Valley that I know. One of them has a dog. He was telling me an interesting story about how he's going to a pool to work out, and he's about my age, and he's like, wow, I'm the only guy in the pool working out that is not really big. I guess a lot of big folk do the workout, which is fine. It's good for their joints. It's good to get things going. At least you're going. At least you're getting in the water. At least you're working out. Nothing wrong with water aerobics. So, the general manager at my work is the greatest guy on the planet because he brings us breakfast on Friday mornings. And it's wonderful fast food stuff that will just cause you to go into a food coma as soon as you eat it because it's so full of calories. But once in a while, that is just so awesome to have. It makes you feel so loved. There's this loved feeling in my tummy right now. Okay, that's a weird sentence. We talked a lot about baristas this week. If you're a barista, thank you for serving the coffee that makes our world go round. Oh, look who just walked in. Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, good chef supervisor. Oh my God, why didn't you give me any of your breakfast? You like fast food breakfasts? Yeah, any breakfast is fine. But I thought you were like a vegetarian vegan person. I am. But there was eggs involved and sausages and... I can eat the pancakes. Well, there might be milk in the pancakes. Shut up! Okay, we'll agree to disagree. Okay. You know, I was thinking about when I used to exercise with my ex-wife. Now I know what you immediately think of when I say that sentence. Exercising with your wife. What does that entail, Mike? No, my ex-wife and I, in the early days of our marriage, we used to go running every morning. Every morning we'd go for a run, and at the end, we'd be like racing each other. And I found an interesting thing about the racing part of our jogs. Oh, look who else just walked in. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman! And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, this is exciting to hear all about your early days being married. Wow, John, I'm glad you think that. No, I was being satirical. Oh, okay, well, what happened, we would be running, and we get into a race at the end, and the racing part, the competition, I understand about competition. All I want is to have my peace of mind. Boston. It felt like we were arguing when we were running against each other really hard at the end. I felt like we just had a big argument. Isn't that weird? Because you're kind of fighting against each other, fighting to win. Maybe I shouldn't be married. Healthy. Competition's healthy. It just, well, you know, you need to have interactions of all kinds with your spouse. Don't take marital advice from me, though. I can attest to that. So this Assange guy, this WikiLeaks guy, this Assange guy, okay, Did he become a staunch Republican? When did he become a total Trump supporter guy? I mean, he hates Bill Clinton because apparently he hates women. Apparently he did something. He assaulted a woman in Sweden or something. And that's why he hates women. He doesn't want us to have a female president. So he goes in, steals all the emails from Hillary, and just throws them out there. Secret emails are now, everybody can see. Here's the thing. If you're a conservative talk show host or a conservative cable TV, radio station, whatever, the fact that you are relaying these emails means that you are helping the enemy. You are helping a non-patriotic guy, a force that has been trying to undermine the U.S. for years now. May I even borrow some of that colorful language of the 60s? He's a pinko commie because he's obviously in cahoots with Russia, wants to bring the U.S. down. And so releases all these secret emails that if you read these emails out loud, you, by association, are helping the enemy. You are unpatriotic. If you are pro-Assange, pro-reading anything that he puts out, you are against America. Just want you to know that, if you didn't know.
And here's today's podcast picture.
On that note, Samsung batteries are exploding, as you well know, and catching fire and whatnot, and that's not good. We have a little conversation about that, you and I, Floyd. We do? Yeah. Floyd the Floorman. Because I'm Floyd the Floorman! We talk about it in today's cartoon. I can't wait! It's true, it happens. So check that out there at mikesdailypodcast.com. Also go there to hear past interviews, past podcasts. You can support the show through the Amazon link. Click on that and buy whatever it is you're going to buy on Amazon, and that helps us out. There's also the PayPal. If you want to donate to the show, you'll get a special greeting from all the Cafe Anyway characters. And then there's also the past interviews and podcast pictures and stuff. No, nothing from WikiLeaks. No. Just the fact that just is so hypocritical of the Republicans, of conservative talk show hosts, to be even reading that stuff. We know all about what this election is about. It's about a woman defending her man. A woman whose man has done a lot of transgressions, has been sexist at times, has had some, liaisons. He says things are better now, but, it's all about this woman, Melania Trump. Mel the Trump. She is defending her transgressive man. Wait, you mean both parties got one of those? How cool is that? Wow. Ugh. Can we bring that conversation into the mix about how you treat women? Women are not objects. Women are not something to attain. Women are people. I'm a person. I would like to just be a person and feel like being a human being. And women have that right as well. So there are men involved in the political world that don't think that way. There are men involved in Fox, a huge conservative news agency. At the top, you heard about that guy that recently had to resign because he treated women as objects, treated them demeaningly. So, at any rate, what fuels Fox News is whiny white men. And I know I whine a bit, and I'm white. But let's go to the wine list, shall we?
Wine.
Well, I like
The Whiny White Man Wine List.
Today, if you are going to subject yourself to conservative talk radio, you'll be hearing about how those emails that WikiLeaks has dove into talk about how Hillary's people tried to get the Illinois presidential primary moved for their benefit. Qatar gave Bill Clinton a check for $1 million for his birthday. And other crap. Clinton uses do not recall 21 times in 25 questions related to email deletion. Do not recall. Well, gee, who did she learn that from? Well, I don't recall. Obama continues record-setting pace of red tape. I don't even know why that's a complaint. Polls... I mean, yeah, red tape sucks, but what is that even... Polls contradiction? Polls... I just waved at someone through the glass. Of cafe anyway. The glass that I'm drinking. Polls... Oh yeah, the polls are contradict... You can't trust the polls because they're showing that Trump is losing so badly. Which brings us to our next segment.
The MIKELOPEDIA INSANICA.
Things are just frickin' insane. Before we go into the insanity part, the Insanika part, Asgardia is a proposed space-based nation that's accepting citizenship applications. Not happy with your presidential candidate, either because they're not Christian enough, or because they're married to a sleazy slug of a sexist, or maybe they are a sleazy slug of a sexist. Well, you can go to this new proposed space station called Asgardia. That's right, it's going to be the first nation in space, and it's seeking UN recognition, named after the Central Palace of Valhalla, Odin, where Anthony Hopkins lived. And it's going to be a new pacifist nation state in space. But in other crazy news, Time magazine is talking about the Trump meltdown. And there was a call to, if I may, from an excerpt from it. The call to gather went out on Sunday morning, arriving on cell phones before many of the pastors had left their congregations. 23 men and 3 women, all members of Donald Trump's Evangelical Advisory Council, because he needs the evangelicals to win, had long ago signed on to pray for his vision for the nation, but now a scandalous recording from Access Hollywood was threatening to blow up the prayer circle. From California to Florida, members of the group joined a late afternoon emergency conference call. This was just on October 9th to ponder the ugly spectacle of a 59-year-old man, a 59-year-old Trump, boasting about trying to seduce a married woman, forcing himself on others, and getting away with it all because he was a star. It had to be an awkward moment for the faithful. Trump was bragging about sexual assault, grabbed them by the, well, and other comments. Seeking guidance in scripture, they found a Bible abounding in useful scoundrels. One participant on the call noted that Jesus had befriended tax collectors and sinners. Another invoked the Old Testament figure Nehemiah. Oh boy, I've heard a lot about Nehemiah. I worked for a Christian station. Most of the pastors talked about Nehemiah, who served a pagan king, Cyrus of Persia, but leveraged the relationship to accomplish the holy mission of rebuilding the ancient walls of Jerusalem. Even an imperfect ruler might be the means to a righteous end. And so the panel overwhelmingly stuck with the sinner. According to 4 people on the call, it was Hillary Clinton, not Trump, who worried them. Can anybody say she's morally superior to Donald Trump? I don't think so, said Dallas megachurch pastor Robert Jeffress. Days later, the election is not about Donald Trump's past, it's about America's future. The cold calculation induced cringes among many of their fellow church leaders. The editors of Christianity Today, a leading voice of evangelicals founded by Billy Graham, weighed whether it would profit the movement to gain the world at the cost of its soul. Trump has been his whole adult life an idolater, the magazine intoned, and a singularly unrepentant one. Ooh, unrepentant. That's a good adjective for Donald. Well, as the 2016 campaign moved into its final weeks, Trump, yes, these are the final weeks, the final days. Where's my dramatic sound effect for that? I'll just give you this one.
I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy like that. You know what I mean?
That's true. So Trump had put the whole country on the rack alongside the Christian conservatives, stretching the sinews of American politics to the breaking point. While some voters were tugged toward the wincing sophistry of the conference call, a larger number pulled disgustedly into the ranks of the #NeverTrump. The candidate himself was consumed by petty grudges. The furs over the leaked recording seemed to liberate him. Free of the shackles, his own tweeted word, Trump reduced his campaign to a primal grunt. As we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley, read more about that in Time Magazine. Very well written. And we're still in this crazy hot October surprise of an October. Well, next show, it's going to be Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. On that note, have a great weekend. And keep on running, you crazy candidates, and you crazy married people that like the interaction of feeling like you're fighting. Keep running and fighting for love.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!